8-month-long countywide operation brought to light offenders from all walks of life, all ages, and from all areas of Flagler County. Drug dealers have no boundaries, and no ethnic group is immune. We thank Judge France for signing the warrants setting high bonds. Of the 40 warrants issued by the court, many names are repeat offenders well known to our deputies. All dealers in this operation have previously been arrested a combined 534 times. I hope the judicial system takes a hard line with these poison peddlers and sends them off to prison. They are not drug users. These are people that are selling poison to our sons, daughters, parents, and friends that in some cases have the potential to be deadly. I'd like to highlight a few of these arrests. One undercover operation involved 26-year-old Waste Pro employee, Shaquan Robinson, who sold heroin to an undercover detective while dressed in his Waste Pro uniform and traveling on the back of a Waste Pro truck. The truck pulled over, Robinson completed the sale of heroin, and then the truck resumed its normal trash pickup route. Robinson is charged with sale of heroin and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Robinson is a multi-county offender who has been arrested 12 times, 4 times previously in Flagler County since 2017. Another arrestee of the operation, 36-year-old Corey Richard Lynch, was arrested in May during a traffic stop when deputies discovered a hidden compartment within the dashboard that was used to conceal a loaded handgun and a large quantity of illegal narcotics, including over 10 grams of fentanyl. He is additionally being charged with armed trafficking of fentanyl, armed possession of heroin with intent to distribute, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of MDPV, a drug similar to ecstasy. Lynch has been arrested 38 times previously. Lynch could face up to life in prison. A third arrestee on this list is 36-year-old Derek McKay. He was arrested in July for driving with a suspended license. Before entering the jail, he revealed to deputies that he was concealing contraband in his buttocks. McKay was charged with possession of heroin, cocaine, oxycodone, Lortab, Molly, and marijuana with intent to sell. Detectives following up on the case discovered an additional stash of narcotics that included cocaine, synthetic cathinones, and hydrocodone pills with a street value of $4,000 belonging to McKay. McKay was still being held at the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility at the time of this seizure and was additionally charged with trafficking cocaine, trafficking synthetic cathinones, and trafficking hydrocodone. McKay has 24 prior arrests. Nearly all of the heroin seized during this operation contained fentanyl, as did a majority of the cocaine seized. The presence of fentanyl in other narcotics has become a common occurrence as upper-level distributors will use fentanyl as a cutting agent to increase volume and potency. Fentanyl is reportedly 50 times more potent than heroin. Just 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be a lethal dose. There have been 30 suspected drug overdoses in Flagler County so far in 2019. Sheriff's deputies have administered 21 doses of Narcan, an emergency opioid antagonist, in response to the suspected overdose calls for service. The fire departments in the county are also equipped with Narcan, so the number of Narcan deployments in Flagler County is likely much higher than our numbers show. During this investigation, detectives seized enough fentanyl and heroin to potentially kill over 14,000 people. Also want to thank the community. Many tips were sent in by community members who followed our Say Something, See Something, Say Something initiative and notified us when they saw suspicious activity or knew of drug dealers in our county. We are dedicated to working together to get this poison out of our community. Each defendant arrested was booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility. They will remain until they post bond or appear before a judge. The investigations are ongoing and additional charges are possible. If anyone has information on the location of the fugitive not yet arrested, or you know of a drug dealer, we ask you for tips to be called into Crime Stoppers at 1-888-277-TIPS. You may be eligible for a reward up to $5,000. You may also send tips directly to the Sheriff's Office at tips@flaglersheriff.com or by calling the Sheriff's Office at 386-313-4911.
I'd just like to say I'm appreciative of the partnership we have with the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. And I think the communities, the folks in the communities are getting sick and tired of these open-air drug markets. And I think something that's sometimes lost is the collateral consequences of drug sales and drug abuse in these communities. I mean, folks are dying in these communities. There's kids that are walking around watching these transactions happen. There's intimidation, there's recruitment. There's all kinds of things that go along with drug sales that aren't necessarily talked about, but I think have a significant impact upon the communities. And I agree with the sheriff that we have to have a more comprehensive approach. We truly need to address the demand side and help folks to find ways to get off of these highly addictive and deadly drugs. And we also need to find ways to support the folks in the community that are calling in, that are concerned about the impact that that the individuals that are engaging in this activity are having upon their neighborhoods, their families, and their friends. So I'm grateful to the Sheriff's Office for taking this on, and we'll continue to work with them, hopefully to make these communities and all the communities within the 7th Circuit safer and better for the folks who live there.